You will only hit the target when you are willing to release the arrow. Today on Growing Hope, we talk about letting it go, how we can release the unusable things in our life to grow wings for our life. Are you ready?
It's time for Growing Hope, the show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, live from a little cabin in the woods, nestled along Big Spring Creek, it's your host, Kathryn Lang.
Welcome to Growing Hope, where we are building a balanced life one step at a time, and right now we're stepping into the habit of letting it go. I am Kathryn Lang, your purveyor of snarky rainbows, because encouragement is my natural tilt, but snarky words, fun, wordplay, that's my middle name. And who doesn't need a little twisted encouragement to boost their day every now and then? When it comes to living focused and intentional, I need all the encouragement I can find. Making choices is tough. Maybe that's one of the reasons we often defer to someone else, or we just toss the blame to anyone but self. We don't want to be responsible, and we don't want to invest in making the choices. You do it. I do it all the time. That's the go-to reaction, even if we want to create purpose and focus in our lives, oftentimes because that's what we've practiced. We defer to others. We say things like, well, they know better, or they've been there, they've been through it, they've been doing this longer. But the truth is that ultimately we don't want to have to be responsible for the choices we would make. If we really want to be honest, when we put it off to someone else, we're still making a choice. We just don't want to admit that we're making the choice to let someone else choose. So no matter what, no matter who makes the final decision, we are responsible for the choices in our lives. It is your choice. If you're going to live so bold that you fly, you need to be prepared, and you need to be courageous in letting go. You let it go when you look at where you are in this moment and you release the things that are no longer able or willing to be used for your purpose. So you let it go by releasing the unusable stuff, the unusable space, the unusable activities, the unusable connections, the unusable schedule. I inherited 4 wooden chairs, and we've discussed many times about the value of chairs in my life. And wooden chairs and metal chairs, they're at the top of the list. Well, these particular chairs were very delicate, very dainty little chairs with thin little legs and thin back spokes, and I have boys. I have big boys. Dainty chairs just don't make the cut around here. So I had to put those chairs in places that the boys would never reach to grab them. And then they ended up getting set out on the back porch with all the other stuff during the overflow of the chair situation. Now, before the boys moved out, we went through all of that extra stuff to see what they could use down in their new apartment. I relinquished the back porch sorting to my oldest son. He has such an incredible gift for that, and I trusted him to do what was best. Whew, that's not always easy, especially when there's things that you know you want, but you know somebody else is going to tell you you don't need. So he had gotten rid of a lot of the stuff and then placed a lot of the other stuff on the back corner of the deck to go into a dumpster, and the remainder he found homes for, good permanent homes, or at least good long-term temporary homes. It was only after when the first big rain, after we did all the sorting, that I panicked. I realized that those dainty little wooden chairs had been left on the back deck. I thought it was an accident. My son had determined it was time to let them go. When I went out the next day to get the chairs, it turned out that they weren't the wooden chairs I thought they were. They were fake wood chairs. So all those layers of fakeness had peeled up and peeled off. My son had been right in his choice to let it go. And I followed through and let them go. Sometimes the people around us know better and we should listen to them. And sometimes we're holding on to something that's not even what we thought we were holding on to. Let it go. You can't fly if you are holding tight to pretty much anything. You have to let go to lift off. You have to release to repel. And by repel, I mean move down the side of the cliff, not, repel the person next to you. But sometimes when we make the choices we make to let things go, we do end up repelling the people around us, the people that wanted us to stay where we were and weren't ready for us to let go and move on. But we still have to make the choice that works for us. We still have to do what is right for us, not with what they think we should do or what they agree is the right choice for us. You will know most of the time before you decide the relationships and the reactions that you're going to encounter. That's why you have to be courageous when it comes to letting go. No matter what others say, if you find something isn't useful in your life, then you need to let it go so you can make room for the better things to make their way into your life. Not everything is usable. Not everything that is usable for you. Not everything that is usable in a certain way will work that way in your life. And not everything that is unusable for everything or for every season. The details are yours to work out. So first, determine the stuff you have around you that is unusable for you. If it is broken beyond repair, or if it is broken but can be used in a different way, make it so. If it's broken beyond repair, let it go. If it can be used in another way, make it so. See, my grandmother gave me 2 crystal candlesticks for my birthday the last year before she passed away. And these were candlesticks that she had had. And I kept them in a place of honor, and I cherished those candlesticks. And one day, the cat, back when we had cats in the house, the cat climbed up on the mantle and knocked one of the candlesticks off. And the rocks below and the crystal, the two did not work well together. And it shattered the candlestick, which was then more of a stick than a candlestick. So I had a choice. I could just let it go, or I could repurpose it. And that's what I did. I repurposed it in a way that I could still honor the gift for my grandmother, but wouldn't just have a crystal stick sitting on my mantelpiece. Just because it's not usable the way it's supposed to be used doesn't mean it's not usable to you. But if you're not using it, let it go. Don't keep it if you can't honor the people who gave it to you. Don't keep it just to keep it. Remember, a cracked pot is not just a bad neighbor. It's a resource stealer. The second thing to do when working on releasing the unusable is to review your space. Let go of the space that is not working for you, or repurpose it in a way that would work better. When we remodeled our homes after the tornado, we arranged it in such a way that each of the boys would finally have a room of their own. Only the 2 older boys continued to spend all their time in just one of the rooms. So 6 months later, I reclaimed the room that they wouldn't use on a regular basis. I took the room that they weren't using, made it into an office and school space, and moved them into the same room that they were sharing anyway. So the extra room, the space, we let it go for what it had been originally designed and made it work for us. You have to be willing to let go of the space to create more space. The third thing is to look at all you do and be willing to release the unusable activities. Just because you've always done something doesn't mean you have to keep doing it. We homeschooled our sons for 17 years. We graduated the two oldest, and they're off to college. And the youngest one started asking to attend traditional school at a very early age. He liked the homeschooling curriculum. He liked doing the homeschooling activities. He liked the routine that we had, but he just wanted something different. But we had always homeschooled. So the first 2 years that he asked, I just dismissed his request. I went on about my business. But he kept asking, so we looked at the situation and we let go of what we had been doing and moved to something that worked better. My youngest son was the only one still in school, and it just worked better for him. You have to release the activities that are no longer usable in your current season. The fourth thing you need to weigh is the connections you have made and the potential connections you might make, and release them when they're not usable for the path you're currently on. It's okay. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It simply means you stop trying to force the outcome that you've been trying to create. I connected with someone through social media, and they had all the right answers and connections for the direction that I was currently going. They invited me to come along with them. They invited me to join them on their path. It was a perfect fit. It was perfect timing. It was perfect until, as my own path became more focused, my path began to veer away from their path some. And the first time I took a step that wasn't down the path that they wanted, I got an earful. The second time that it happened, I realized the connection that I had wasn't what it had been, and I made the choice to let it go. Sometimes you have to be okay with letting go of the connections. And finally, the fifth thing to consider is if the schedule is still usable where you are. Times change. We change. Circumstances change. I mean, giving up homeschooling drastically changed my schedule. And I had a great schedule worked out. But I had to let go of my old plan and adjust to a new schedule. And of course, about the time I got comfortable in the new schedule, things changed again, and I had to change again. And I had to let go of the new schedule and start again with an even newer schedule. But when you let go of where you are and you release what is not usable to you, then you make room for a world of possibilities to come flooding in, things that you probably possibly never even imagined. So are you willing to get honest about what is usable and to let go of the stuff, the things, the space that no longer fits that bill? I love my mom purse. I had a true, massive homeschool mom purse. It was one of those purses that quite literally had everything in it. Everything you could possibly imagine. I mean, if we went on Let's Make a Deal, we would clean house. The only thing I didn't have in that purse was a hammer. And when I was going through my father-in-law's stuff, after he passed away, I found a teeny tiny little bitty hammer about the size of a pencil. And I put it in my purse so that I could say that I had everything in my purse, including a hammer. It was heavy. It was bulky. It was a pain, but it had everything in it that I could possibly need, because when I would go out of the house some days, I didn't know where I was going to end up. I didn't know what activities were going to lead to what activities, and I needed to be able to shift and adjust and work on the go. A day of surprise get-togethers or unexpected appointments didn't leave me without an ability to get things done, because it was all in that purse. And then things changed. And now my life is so different that I can use like a regular size purse. And some days I don't even carry a purse. I just carry my wallet. I let go of that wonderful bag unless I need it for a specific reason. I don't just have to carry it to carry it. Now it has a specific purpose. I let it go for its daily use and use it for something else. That's how it goes when it comes to walking out your unique purpose. That's how it goes when it comes to letting things go. You have to be willing, you have to be bold, and you have to be confident when you make the choice to let things go. Because doubt's going to slither into the sudden spaces left behind. The what ifs are going to come just pouring in on top of you, and it's going to try to convince you that you made the wrong choice. And when you fall for that, when you become uncomfortable with the choice of letting go, then you will not only question that choice for letting go, but you'll question the future choices that you have coming before you. Letting go is part of living. If you don't let go, if you don't release your past, then you hold back the ability to move forward. You cannot hold on to your past and embrace your future at the same time. I watched my son climbing up a tree in the field, and it was really high for someone his size. But he carefully picked his way up, and he carefully picked his way around the tree, and then he slowly started making his way back down. But at one point, he called out for help. He had gotten as far as he could without someone stepping in, at least from his perspective. I had a different perspective. I could see what was going on. I could see that all he needed to do was let go and he would be fine. It took some convincing, but he did let go. And the next time he climbed the tree, he learned from that experience, and he learned from what I had shown him and taught him, and he climbed up, climbed around, and then climbed down and let go all on his own. We all need to let go of the things that are keeping us from pursuing what it is we want to do. We all need to let go of the things that are keeping us from stepping into our possibilities. We need to let go of the unusable things that are no longer working where we are, and just no longer working in some instances. And we may not always see it, which is why it's so important to be invested in relationships, and specifically in relationships that will support you as you step into your letting go. But we all need to let it go at some point in this journey. Let go of the stuff you can no longer use. Let go of the space that no longer works the way you need it to. Let go of the activities that are keeping you from your better and best. Let go of the connections that are demanding that you move in their path and not your own. And let go of the schedule that may have kept it all in line before, but not so much now. When you make the choice to let go, and when you make the choice to let go of the things that are specifically not working for you, then you are positioned to do more and be more than you could ever imagine possible. Let it go. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Growing Hope, where we are practicing the art and the skill of letting go so that we can begin to create a balanced life. If you are ready to let go, but you're not quite sure what direction to take or what to let go, please feel free to email me at contact@growinghope.com. Together, we can see more, and together we can do more. So let's connect and engage and craft out our world domination. You can live your big dream goals, and you can fulfill your big dream goals when you make the choice to walk and build a balanced life. But you're going to have to let go of the things that are knocking you off balance. I am Kathryn Lang, and I am here to tell you that hope makes a difference, because every day holds a promise of more, and every action contains the power of possibility. It's not about what the world says or even what the world shows. The strength of hope and encouragement will and does push through the limits and the walls of the world. My prayer is and always will be that the words I share are helping establish foundations of hope that will shatter the delusions of the world around us. Until next time, remember, be blessed and be a blessing.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Kathryn Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.kathrynlang.com to invite Kathryn to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.